Back here, it is coming up on 9:42, and we're going to wrap up the show today, visiting with some students from Laramie High School involved in the mock trial program. Just the second year at Laramie High School, but they're already two-time state champions, so we already have a dynasty rolling here. We're going to visit with Jordan Mendick, Maggie Branch, Quingfeng Li are in studio. I visited with Jordan and Maggie last year on the program, so let's begin with you two, since you're the veterans of this. I'll begin with you, Jordan. 2 straight championships, is that pretty cool?
Yeah, I don't know, like getting into mock trial, it's never something I imagined would have happened.
Well, you win it again, so now you're going to get a chance to go on to a national competition. How would you kind of characterize last year winning state and going to Reno, Nevada, versus this year winning state and now going to, what are we, outside of Atlanta? Athens, Georgia. Athens, Georgia.
Last year we were so green going into it. I mean, we're still insanely green, but we actually have a feel for it this time, and I'm so excited, like, being prepared and knowing what I'm getting into. It's going to be so fun. It was so fun last year, but this year it's just going to be so much more amazing. All
right, let's give the mic, turn it over to Maggie here. Maggie, I visited with you last year, and you were very excited about winning state. What was different about this year, maybe? Does anything kind of stand out that was different this year?
Well, this year there was actually kind of a lot going on with the teams at state. We had teams dropping out at the last moment and joining up at the last moment, so we had to change the bracket up a lot of times. So once we actually got there, the scoring system was actually different this year than it was last year, and there was no final round, so it was actually quite a bit different than last year.
A little more nerve-wracking, perhaps?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So take me through, and I'm going to ask Quingfeng this a little bit because he's new to this experience, but take me through kind of step by step, if you would, Maggie, what goes on in the state competition?
Well, at state we had kind of a round-robin style tournament, and we just went up against, let's see, we had 2 rounds, I believe, and we had 2 teams from Laramie again, so each team just went up against other teams, and we never actually went against each other, but once you go in there, you figure out what side you're on right before you start the round. So you got a little time to prepare for what's going to happen, but you kind of have to wait until almost last second until you're ready.
All right. Again, we're visiting with Jordan Mendick, Maggie Branch, Quingfeng Li. Let's bring in Quingfeng here. I've known Quingfeng for his tennis feats on the court, because I cover sports here, ladies and gentlemen, but more so here. How was this to get involved with mock trial this year? How's this experience been for you this time around?
I've really enjoyed it because last year I went into the class not really knowing what it is, and so when we won state and then we went to nationals, we were like all very excited because we didn't know what to expect. And this year it was a little different because we didn't expect to win, but we kind of went in with the hope of winning, and then improving and doing better at nationals. And so it was just very exciting to see the improvement throughout last year and this year, because even like our level of this year at state was higher than nationals, and we'll be even better at nationals than we were at state. And so there's just so many levels to mock trial, and it's interesting to see how far we can go.
Let me ask you this, Quingfeng, how has preparation changed from last year to this year? Have you noticed a difference in terms of what you kids and how you kind of prepare for things?
Yeah, I think last year a lot of it was polished, but it was a little robotic. And this year we kind of knew what to expect and what to do, so the flow felt much more natural. And we were able to be more conversational in our openings, closings, directs. And so I just think it'll be much more natural competing because we prepared kind of less to a script.
Gotcha. Again, visiting with Quingfeng Li, Maggie Branch, Jordan Mendick. We'll give the mic back to Jordan here real quick, and I appreciate it. All right, so Jordan, take me through this. Folks that are not familiar with mock trial, set me up what this competition is like. What's just a round of competition like for me? For you, for me. I don't know why I'm saying that. For you, sorry.
So, as Maggie said, you get into the courtroom and you receive your side. This year, since it was a criminal case, you got either prosecution or defense. So you receive your side, and then I'm a witness, so I find out which witness I'm playing, whereas an attorney would find out which witness they were directing. And then you proceed with the trial. Prosecution always goes first. You start with opening statements, then you go to direct examinations for the prosecution, crosses for the defense, and then you just keep going till closing arguments.
All right. So, did you notice anything different this year versus last year?
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, I 100% did not know what I was doing last year, and just so to be able to come in this year and get a new case and read it and actually like not understand it per se, but like know how I can use it was such an amazing feeling. I'll have to give props to our other team. So we had two teams that went, and the team we were on was like mostly veterans, but the other team was completely newbies, and they were so amazing. Like they caught on so fast and worked so hard. We're at our level by the end. It was truly amazing. So being able to watch them grow and like knowing how it was for them, like because how it was for us last year, it was such a cool experience.
All right, that's Jordan Mendick. We'll give the mic to Maggie here real quick because I know you have a vast appreciation for your teammates as well as those that help out. Whitney Martin, Mr. James Learn is in the background here. We'll visit with him in just a moment. But shout out to Coach Martin. What have these two meant, and others that help out with the mock trial program, what have they kind of meant to you as kind of, I don't even know how I want to describe it, I guess.
Oh, well, our coaches are awesome. I mean, like these two, I had no idea what I was getting into last year. I just took it because it sounded fun. I didn't know it was going to be competitive, and I didn't know really anything about it, so we completely started at the bottom. But by the end of the second year, we are so much higher than we were at the beginning, and that's all thanks to Mr. Learn. He's taught us literally everything, and Miss Martin's really helped us keep it going this year, and she's been on top of things. Yeah, they're really great for our team.
As this, and you don't necessarily have to answer on the mic, so I'll ask you kind of, Maggie, you guys can nod your heads or shake your heads, whichever way you want to say in the background, but has this really developed more of a passion for the law, more of an understanding for the law, Maggie?
Most definitely, yeah. I had no idea about any of this beforehand, but now I really know what goes on in a trial. I know a lot more about what I'm doing, which is definitely good, but yeah, I really had no idea of any of this beforehand. So.
Makes you three want to stay out of a courtroom from an appearance standpoint, not necessarily prosecution or attorney down the road after you're done with high school, but you want to stay out of it, so to speak. So, all right, anything else? Athens, Georgia. Well, let me ask you, how was the trip to Reno last year? Kind of describe that.
It was really fun. Like, it's the most fun I've ever had on a school trip. It was crazy. Like, nationals is a way different experience than state. It's so much different, and people there, like, they're a lot more professional. They know what they're doing a lot better than teams that we see at state. But it was a really fun trip. It was a really cool experience to go through nationals and see all the teams that compete like that.
Jordan, Quingfeng, what about for you two in terms of now getting ready to go to a different part of the country, Athens, Georgia? What are you looking forward to most this year?
I've looked at the pictures of where we're going to be working, and it is so beautiful, especially compared to Reno. Reno's a little shady, I'll say, and so Athens is so gorgeous, and I'm so excited to be in those courtrooms and just all of that.
Yeah, what about for you, Quingfeng? What do you think?
Honestly, for me, I think like the biggest difference for nationals is that we're getting there earlier.
Okay.
So that means we don't have to compete like the very next day that we are there, and we actually get a scrimmage with a few other teams, and so we'll be able to get a feel for the competition before it actually starts, and I think that'll be like very useful to our team.
Yeah, that sounds like an invaluable experience, actually. So, well, best of luck to all three of you. I appreciate the time this morning. Have fun with this trip, all right?
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to back out, and we're going to bring in Mr. Learned. He's kind of the coach, so to speak. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, sir. Good to see you.
I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus, but I kind of was earlier when you were a little bit behind. So tell me a little bit about your experience here in these 2 years, especially with these kids and the other ones in the program.
I think I have to echo a lot of the sentiments. It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been a learning experience in a number of ways because Mrs. Martin and I can teach everything that we know about competition and about the law, but there are so many nuances to the national game that you just don't know. right down to the fact that, just like when we get to March Madness here in a few weeks, we have blue chippers there. There's private schools, kids that have dedicated curriculum specifically for mock trial, big budgets, big teams, and sort of this rolling roster phenomenon for kids who just really, really shine. And so these guys have just accepted the challenge, and it's wonderful to watch.
How have you seen the program grow from year one to year two? What's been different?
First and foremost, the enrollment was bigger at the start of the school year, which was nice. And so to have 2 full teams to work with was really, really cool. And the hope was to be able to, I guess for lack of a better term, mimic what some of the larger private schools, for example, from the East Coast were doing, and take both teams so that at least they get to see what's going on and have a better expectation. Because, man, did we ever, come face to face with the cliche that you don't know what you don't know. And the reality is, as a team, we have to whittle down to 9 under national rules. But if we could have some of them watch, it would be beneficial. But then you have to factor in the realities of cost and travel, and that's another area where we're continuing to struggle. But I think we're ultimately rising to that challenge too.
All right, now we're going to a different part of the country this time. Instead of going out to Reno, a little bit shorter jaunt than it is going all the way out to Athens, Georgia, a longer jaunt this year. So what are we looking at? What are you trying to do here in the next couple months? Because we're talking about, early to mid-May, basically?
Yeah, mid-May,
okay.
The weekend of the 16th, I believe. The preparation and looking forward to going east, number one, the national committee picked a gem of a venue in the University of Georgia. Full credit to what Reno did last year. Just looking at what University of Georgia wants to do to raise the bar is going to be pretty spectacular. But then down to the students. Coming home from Reno last year, we took a minute to analyze the scores, and we figured out that of all the scoring dimension, we need 1 point per dimension to basically go to the top half of the grouping.
Okay.
And so putting it in that perspective, the students decided, hey, we're up for this. And so, lo and behold, they are asking now for practice cases, even though we don't get the national case until April 1st. So they're ready. Their minds are saying, hey, let's get going. Let's get the juices flowing again. Let's practice and do everything we can with the time that we have.
Are there things that you've tweaked from a practice standpoint to prepare yourselves better?
Yeah, we really did. We put a little different emphasis on the exhibits. When you get the case materials, you get affidavits or declaration from these made-up witnesses. You get a summary of the case and what it's about, and then you get exhibits. And it's difficult because the exhibits are sort of very much in the middle. They don't favor one side of the case or the other, but I think that was the thing that we, from a technical perspective, lacked, was our ability to use and understand the exhibits, and that's where we've shifted, and they've done a great job with it.
So now it's fundraising to help get these kids there. So what are some things that the community, how can they go about helping you out? What are things that you got in mind that you want to do? How can people help out? How do they contact people to help out? Let's find out all the information there.
So first and foremost, you can contact the high school. And what we're looking for specifically from the community is if somebody needs to donate $25 to $100, and if we can round up enough people to round up that kind of a donation level, that'll get us there. We've been fortunate enough to get some matching funds awarded to us by the school board, but it's a much heftier travel cost this time around. We've done a number of 50-50 raffles going all the way back to before Christmas. We have one more tonight, and so we're working hard, but the problem with our fundraising efforts is that these guys are all high-achieving students, and they're all busy. So to put one more thing on their plate and make them come up with the funds is difficult. My hat's off to them for the fact that they're out there and they're grinding and they're being the ones asking for the money. But what we really need is community support for this organization. All
right, and again, just contact the high school. 721-4420 is the number. That's 721-4420. I think I said 4420. 4420, 721-4420. You can get a hold of Whitney Martin. Anybody else on the coaching staff this year?
No, just Miss Martin and I.
Okay, all right. So if you have questions, get a hold of Wendy Martin at the high school. Talk with the main office. They'll get you in contact with her, and you can make some donations that way. Last year, I know you guys did kind of some dress rehearsals. You got that kind of in mind again?
Well, we do, and we've been super fortunate to have help from the community. Eric Oblasser from Corthell and King, Marion Marchetti from the same firm, Isaiah Groves from Penson McMillan. Our own district judge, Tori Cricken, has said she'd be willing to help. We've got help from the city prosecutor, Holly Austin Belaski, and so people are really starting to kind of rally around this thing because it's kind of taken off. I like the word dynasty. I don't like to use the word dynasty about my own stuff, but these kids are amazing, and they're doing such a good job, and it's nice to have the support from those professionals.
Absolutely. Any ballpark in terms of when dress rehearsals? Around 1st of May, maybe?
End of April, 1st of May.
Okay.
I think our first one is like right at the tail end of April, if memory serves, might be April 30th. But we'll do, I think, a maximum of 3 in state because we're going to do the majority of our prep against other schools once we get to Athens.
All right. Well, Quingfeng, Jordan, Maggie, congratulations on winning another title. Well deserved. High achievers these kids are.
They are indeed.
Wow, that's unbelievable. 2 in a row in 2 years of the program. That's pretty good. 2 for 2. 100% is pretty good. Best of luck. Have fun in Athens. I've been down in that area, so I think you'll enjoy it. It's certainly a unique experience. So, well, thank you for sharing the story again. And if there's anything we can do to help out, let me know.
Hey, thanks, David.